My name is Zdravko Cvjetić, but you probably already know me as Z, and welcome to my brand new masterclass on productivity. I'm excited, and you know why? Because ever since I started Zero to Skill, I've only done one masterclass, which had over 20,000 people registered, which is insane. Now, I decided to take everything that I've learned ever since, together with the feedback that I've gotten from my community, and create this masterclass. So welcome. Now, if you're here, it means that you're ready for a major change in your life. Let me tell you why you should stay all the way until the end. Now, out of everything that I've learned and out of everything that I've done, productivity is the single biggest reason why I've managed to succeed in every single area of my life. And today I want to show you how to do exactly that. Use productivity to design your ideal week and show you what are the 5 rituals you can go through to maximize your productivity, focus, and results. Basically, how to do more in 1 week than you would usually do in 1 month while working half the time. Let me tell you why we're going to apply this right now. No matter how much you want to believe that you're going to live for another 40, 50 years, the truth is that your future, just like mine, is in promise. And I believe that just like me, you don't want to end up leading a mediocre life. So it makes a lot of sense to make the most out of it while you still can. And the harsh truth, the reality is that majority of people actually do lead a mediocre average life. And it's because they get caught up in the turmoil of everyday life. The responsibilities they have, how busy they are, without actually noticing that the years keep passing by without having anything to show for. And if this scares you, if you don't want to go down this path, you're not alone. Whenever somebody joins my community, I ask them one simple question. What's the single biggest challenge that's keeping you from being productive and making the most out of your time? You would expect that out of 10,000 people that responded, you would have thousands of different answers. But the reality is, when I analyzed them, I realized that all of them keep coming back to a few simple problems. And people lack clarity on what is it they want to accomplish and pursue in life. And even if they know this, they don't know how to prioritize their high-value activities. They don't know how to deal with harmful habits, such as distractions, interruptions, procrastination, laziness, how to overcome these and make sure they don't prevent them from making actual progress. They don't know how to optimize and fine-tune their time to make sure they have more time dedicated to the things that are truly important. And finally, they don't know how to focus, how to zone in and actually get things done, make efficient and effective progress towards accomplishment of their biggest goals. I've had these problems. I even still do, but now the difference is that I have the actual strategy to solve these things. Now, it's time to end this. If you want to learn how to overcome these problems and maximize your time to get your goals accomplished, to get more done, keep on watching, because there's not a lot of content on the internet that can deliver results as much as this masterclass can. I know it's a big talk, but I can back it up. Plus, for people who stay all the way until the end of this masterclass, I have a special gift. So keep on watching. Now, before I founded Zero to Skill and became actually who I am today, I was probably one of the world's biggest procrastinators. And I never had the intention of going into the area of productivity because I didn't see too much importance in it. Everything started with my idea to beat the snooze button in the morning. But it led me on this path where it became one of the most crucial things that I've done for myself and continue to do to this day. Now, over the last 8 years, I've researched, obsessively experimented, and designed some of the most powerful productivity tools in the world. By using them, I was able to take control over my time, build useful habits, and accomplish some of my biggest goals. By learning how to write and use it to build a successful blogging career and generate over 50 million readers. Being featured in Forbes, CNBC, New York Observer, Business Insider, Inc., in many of these big media publications. Building a profitable business that generates over $100,000 a year. Traveling more than 35 countries in the world and building a healthy, sustainable lifestyle for myself. And all of this while continuing to build a quality relationship with my family and friends. You would assume that I would have some starting advantage, but that's far from the truth. I actually had no special circumstances in life. I just realized early on that the biggest cause of success is people learning what to do with the 24 hours they have each day. I've done this by myself. My other students have done it as well. And now it's your turn. Listen to some of these stories. This is from Deborah Spence, a realtor at HomeSmart Realty Advisors, USA. When I realized how much time I was wasting smoking cigarettes, I quit. I gained over 10 hours per week from not smoking 10 cigarettes for 7 minutes a day. I had my most productive month ever. I sold 17 homes last month. And at the time, I didn't even implement all of the techniques you taught me. On top of it all, health benefits are obvious. Or take a look at what Dr. Harvey D. Brownfield from USA has to say. As a physician, one never stops learning. These tools help you set and achieve goals, eliminate procrastination, learn techniques that will help you eliminate bad habits and replace them with good habits. He does it in a systematic way, and you can ask him questions anytime and he responds quickly. You just have to try and implement the productivity system for success. Try it, you will not regret it. Finally, Bettina Kleiber, Clinical Liaison Pharma Specialist from Switzerland. Your daily inspirations, practical tips, thoughts, tasks, joys, opportunities have inspired me. I was consistent every day and always happy to wake up and get your message. This positive suspense, what's coming today? I had grown wings myself. That was the goal, I guess. You delivered me the instruments I needed. Before that, I was already very efficient, and I spent my time focused on my job, child, partner, social life, family, but I was afraid of the big goal regarding my creativity. I was the perfect procrastinator, but your strategies have shown me how to overcome it. I have started to implement my annual goal, and I'm always in the flow. It's incredible how good it feels. It's magical. Somehow, you've helped me turn my procrastination into creativity and powerful action. You find that in spite of your best effort, and no matter how much time you put in, you still don't get the results you want and make the progress you were supposed to make. That no matter how much you try to follow through on your goals, you still find a way to sabotage yourself and fall off the wagon. That the to-do list you have each day seems like it's never going to end, and that you will never have actual time to dedicate to the things that are truly important to you, your family, your friends, your passion project, your business, traveling, your health, or anything else for that matter that you truly value. You would think that this is your problem, that you're responsible for this, and you've probably guilted yourself over and over again, that you're just not good enough, that you're not motivated enough, that you just have to strap on and get through it. But the reality is that there are kind of two sides of one problem. The first one is that nobody ever taught you that productivity and time management is actually really important. That it's probably one of the most essential things you can do for yourself. And even if you knew this, you were given lousy tools to solve this problem. Tools such as to-do lists or productivity apps that just focus on superficial action that makes you even busier. And it gives you this illusion that you're making actual progress, when in reality you're just being active instead of being proactive. However, there's another way. Right now I want to show you how to get 3 times more out of your week while working half the time. And trust me, if you apply these things, you will have a massive change in every single area of your life. Now, making your weeks highly productive is actually really simple, which is surprising because a lot of people get this wrong. Majority of people do one thing, which is create a to-do list, and right after that they start executing, which gives this illusion that a lot of people are not aware of, and that is you're making action and you think that you're making progress, that you're being proactive. But the truth is that when you cram as many things as possible in a single day, the only thing that can happen is drastic reduction in efficiency and effectiveness, which leads to you feeling overwhelmed and eventually falling off the wagon, only to have to restart this whole cycle of motivation. Let's do something with our lives to get the results we want, and then you crash, and then again and again and again and again. This is the same pattern people repeat over and over and over and over again. I know that I did, I know that the people that I've worked with did from my community, and probably you have too. And before we tackle the solution together, you need to know, you need to be aware of how your week goes by. What does it consist out of? And there are three things you need to have in mind. The first one is your fixed repetitive activities. Things that you tend to repeat every single day that happen without you being aware of them, that are kind of automated, things you've spent years and years developing. Whether you were intentional or unintentional about it, that's a whole nother matter. But they are there. They will happen on every single day, or at least on specific days. And before you actually go into doing anything, you need to pinpoint these things and raise your awareness, assess how your time is currently going by. Now, the second thing is actually things that deliver results, your high value activities. And these are the problem, because a lot of us spend too much time on these activities, and there's not much time left to actually do the things that you know will make progress and help you accomplish your goals. And on top of all of this, you have the third thing, which is any activity that can actually prevent you from making the progress you want. Distractions, interruptions, procrastination, laziness, any harmful habit that is just there present in your life. And if you want to become highly productive, you need to do something about all of these three things. Now, having this in mind, let's dive right into these 5 rituals you can use to design your ideal week. And now, for this masterclass specifically, I've designed a workbook that's going to supplement each one of the exercises we go through for each one of the rituals to make sure you get the most out of them. Ready? Let's start. Okay, ritual number 1, time awareness assessment exercise. The point of this exercise is actually really simple. You need to become more aware and assess the time you have, your current week, your current average week. You need to see and pinpoint activities and habits that are fixed or repetitive. Things you do almost every single day, and things you do and repeat on specific days only. Now, the reason why you want to do this is because you want to pinpoint how much time and freedom you have left after these menial, repetitive, fixed activities and habits are finished. So you can use this time and allocate it to the things that you know will deliver the results, which are your high value activities, which we're going to talk about in the ritual number 2. So how you're going to do this: open your workbook and you're going to find one spreadsheet. And in the first section, you want to allocate the things you tend to repeat every single day. These might be how much time you spend sleeping, commuting, meetings, preparing meals, eating meals, chores, the time you spend on internet, television, with your family, your friends, at work. List down in that first section all of the activities you tend to repeat every single day. Now, you don't have to pinpoint every single minute, but try to give an estimate of how much time you allocate for each one of these activities. And then once you have all of these activities for every day and how much time you spend, or at least you estimate how much time you spend for each one of these activities, try to calculate your total. This is going to give you an overview of how your average day goes by, which you can actually manipulate and redirect towards the things that will give you actual progress. Now, there are certain things we tend to repeat every single day, but there are also things we tend to repeat on specific days only. Once you're finished with the first section, go and try to pinpoint activities you tend to repeat on the rest of the days. Now, majority of people split their work week and weekends separately, and probably you do too. But even though it's not part of this ritual, what I would suggest that starting today, try to develop a mindset that helps you treat your day pretty much the same. Whether it's a work week, whether it's a weekend, your goal is to wake up rested, energized, motivated, and try to make the most out of those 24 hours you have. To make progress you want, to do the things that are gonna give you an edge, that are gonna move you past the current state of stagnation and get you closer to your goals and the person you actually want to become. That by the time you hit your bed, you feel exhausted. That even if you wanted, you couldn't get rid of that feeling that you're proud of what happened that day. And not only that, but you're motivated and driven to do better the next day. So that's something you should aim for. Maybe your current set of circumstances is not there right now, but it's something that you eventually want to strive for. I know that it made a massive difference in my life. When you reach a point when you can wake up whenever you want and you have full freedom to do whatever you want with your day. If you didn't want to work, you don't have to work. If you wanted to spend 15 hours working, you can do that as well. If you want to chill, if you want to travel, you can. That's the point. I think that's kind of the success in life. To have the control and freedom to do whatever you want with your time without having to worry about money. So this masterclass and all of the rituals that I've created over the years, and some of them are including right now, are supposed to do exactly that. Get you to the point where you wake up in the morning and you have actual freedom to do with your time whatever you want. If that's to build a career, you can do that. If that's to build a business, you can do that. If that's to take it easy and enjoy your time with your family and friends, you can do that as well. You choose, and that's the whole point. You have the freedom to choose. And to start off there, you need to do this exercise. So pinpoint everyday activities and habits that are fixed and repetitive. Give yourself less time, maximum 2 minutes. Try to keep it under. Once you're finished here, go to activities and habits that are specific for certain days only. Try to approximately give an estimate of how much time you allocate for each of these things, and then how much time you have left. This entire exercise ritual shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. So keep it under. You can pause the video, fill in the workbook. You can do it digitally. You can print it out and do it on a piece of paper, but do it. Okay, now you've done the first ritual. Now you have more awareness and you've assessed how your current week goes by. What are the things you repeat? What are the things that are fixed? So now you have more knowledge of how much time there's left, how much wiggle time you have. And moving forward, your goal is to make sure that these activities that are fixed and repetitive are optimized and fine-tuned to the point where you get the most out of them, but you have more time left to actually raise the level of time you have control over and dedicate it to things that are important. Some things cannot be removed, such as sleeping, eating, spending time with your family or friends, and you shouldn't focus on removing them. You should focus on optimizing these things so they're done to the best degree possible. But there are certain things such as meetings, commuting, and so on that have a possibility of being removed. So your long-term strategy should be to work on outsourcing and removing these things from your life. But for now, it's enough that you have more awareness of what's happening in your life right now and how you're currently allocating your time. Having this in mind, let's move on to the ritual number 2, which is the sequence. Now, the sequence is something that I personally developed for myself. It came as a result when I realized that just doing things randomly, even though they might produce certain result, isn't enough. You gotta focus on the right things, and you gotta focus on them in the right way in order to produce the results on a high level. Because if you're here, it probably means that you're a high achiever in life, that you wanna be even better top performer, whatever area we're talking about here. Which means that you need to step up your game. And the best way to do this is exactly this ritual. The first section is all about high value or high leverage activities. If you have a goal, for instance, out of everything you can do for your goal, these activities are supposed to give you the best results possible. It follows that old traditional Pareto principle, which means that 80% of results in life usually comes from 20% of the activities you can do. I'm gonna give you an example with fitness or health. Majority of people actually have a goal to lose weight. Currently, even I have it to slim down just a bit more, which means that I have a number of activities I can do. From going to the gym, from jogging, running, doing marathons, from Pilates, yoga, CrossFit. On the health diet side of it, you have a number of things you can try. Keto diet, this diet, that diet, and you have so many opportunities. So people that are not naturally knowledgeable about this thing, when they start, they get really overwhelmed. So instead of actually putting all of these things on a to-do list and trying every single day to do as many of them as possible, your goal should be to list down the things that you know will deliver results. And in this case, it all comes down to 2 things. Well, technically 3. If we have sleep, healthy diet, and physical activity, those would be your high value activities. So what you're gonna do now is choose 1 or 2 goals you wanna do. Not 10 of them, not 15 of them, not 20 years from now, or not 10 years from now. I want you to look at 6 months to a year from now, things that you already have in the back of your mind if you haven't actually added a new resolution, and then see what are the high value activities you can do for those goals. What produces results? What gives you progress? Take 2 minutes, take the workbook and list down 5 to 10 activities you know that will get you closer to accomplishing your goal. Not only that, but it will get you closer to accomplishing your goal more than anything else you can do. Do that first. Now what you want to do is take those activities and sort them in the order of execution. There's a difference between high value activities and everything that you need to do and how you actually allocate them and sequence them throughout the day. This is equally, if not more important. So take an additional 2 minutes and take these activities and sort them in the way how you want to complete them. What's your approach? What comes first? What follows? And so on. Take additional 2 minutes for this and do it. You can do it in the workbook. Okay, now you have your high value activities. You have your sequence. The third section, the notes, is just there for you. This is just to keep on track of the things that are happening throughout the day. Because no matter how much you want it, no matter how much you strive to have as much control and freedom over your day, the reality is that we work with other people. And it will often happen that some of the things you need to do depend on somebody else. This is something you accept. It's no way you can change it. Maybe you can eventually, but if it's the reality, you accept it and you work around it. You do what you can, you mark the note, you focus on the next thing, and then when you need to, you come back to the first high value activity that was supposed to be done in the sequence you decided to. So that's the second ritual. Now the third ritual is actually really simple. It's correlated with the fifth ritual, but I'm going to explain one side of it. I call it 3 daily blocks. Now, since we're highly ambitious and high achieving, our initial urge every day is to do as many things as possible so we can feel the sense of accomplishment. and realize that we're moving ahead in life, which, as I said previously on a number of occasions, I'll probably mention it again, makes us feel that we're just busy. It gives us this weird illusion that we're making progress when we're not. To battle this, you want to simplify things as much as possible. You want to take your sequence and every day choose only 3 blocks where you want to dedicate to each one of the activities from the sequence. So every night you take 2-3 minutes, you look at your list and you take a look at your schedule for tomorrow, and you decide only 3 blocks, 60 to 90 minutes blocks, where you're going to dedicate for each one of these activities. Next to this, you want to dedicate the time. When exactly are you going to do each one of these activities? How much time is it going to take you to do each one of these activities? And what's the definition of finished? What's your outcome? A lot of people say they want to exercise, but there's a difference between going to the gym and going to the gym to exercise your back for 40 minutes with 5 sets and 10 repetitions for each set. There's a difference. So an example would be, in my first block, I'm going to start at 7 in the morning. I want to work on the blog number 43 for the next 60 minutes, and by the end of it, I was supposed to have 500 words completed. That's how you want to do this. Just 3 things. That's why it's important. Just 3 things. But at the end of the day, when you look back and realize that you've completed all of these 3 blocks, trust me, if you remain consistent, if you continue to do this, 3 things one day, 3 things another day, 3 things another day, and so on, will give you exponential and compounding results. Every night, you take 2-3 minutes, you take a piece of paper, you look at your sequence, and you say, I'm going to do this activity at this hour, this activity at this hour, this activity at this hour. It will take me, I don't know, 60 minutes or 90 minutes for this activity. It will take me 30 minutes for this activity, but it needs to get done. And it will take me additional 60 minutes for this activity. In total, I might work 3 hours or, I don't know, 4 hours for these. I still have to do all of the other things, but they're menial tasks that are kind of repetitive. So my focus is this. And you want to shield these blocks as much as possible. You have to zone in, you have to focus, and make sure that you're not interrupted. Find the right spot in your environment, whether it's home, whether it's office. Make sure that you communicate that people don't disturb you, so you can actually focus on these activities. And trust me, the moment you start developing this flow, which is something I tend to talk about quite a lot, is it becomes highly addictive. They say that the state of flow, the state of total immersion, you know, when you're in the zone, it's actually, believe it or not, I'm going to cut the 4th wall here, but when I record any of my courses, any of my content, including this masterclass, I don't actually follow the script. It's there just in case I remind myself. And it's usually I take probably 1 or 2 takes before I can actually start gaining that momentum. But after a while, since I've gone through the script over and over again, and I know my content really well, I just hit the record and I'm gone. I focus and I'm highly energized in that moment. And even if I make mistakes, it comes quite easy to solve those mistakes. I just made a mistake when I was talking about mistakes, inception moment. But the whole point is you want to work on developing that flow, that sense when you start working on something, even it was difficult to get yourself to do it, that by the time you actually start doing it, 3 hours later, you're just still in it. You're so focused, there's no any idea of time you have. And the best way to do this is when you know that you only need to do 3 things. And it won't take you too much to actually do all of those 3 things. And the great thing about this ritual is when you wake up, you don't have to spend a lot of time being random and trying to think what needs to happen that day. Because you already have the awareness of the fixed and repetitive habits. You know that they're gonna happen throughout the day, but you already know what are the things you want to focus on deliberately, intentionally. Those are the key words. Things you decided that you want to commit to. You know when they're supposed to come, you know exactly what you're supposed to do, and you know exactly what does it mean for that activity to be finished. It makes everything much easier because you know what's the next one, you know what follows after that one, and once you finish one, it gives you this momentum, additional momentum to focus on the next one. And then by the time you finish your day, you're going to look back, you're going to see 3 things done. Compared to the days when you actually even set 5 to 10 things you were supposed to do, but you didn't, and then those pile up for the day after, and you feel additionally overwhelmed. And if you haven't actually done all of those things you were supposed to, they pile up on the next day after that, which makes it even harder to do because you feel stressed, you feel anxious, all of the shit on your to-do list. You want to prevent this. Do the things that are fixed, repetitive, finish them without stress. Take the 3 things you decided that you want to commit to. You want to, not you need to, not you have to, but you want to commit to. Do them in a greatest fashion ever, while being focused, while being in the zone. Try to practice that zone. Keep distractions away, keep interruptions away, and then we're going to talk about how to do this. And that's it. Then you finish the day. Before you hit the bed, you decide for the next 3 tomorrow, you cross over these 3 things. Crossing over gives you that sense of completion, and on you go. Now let's talk about the ritual number 4, which is called the red list. And I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible because I tend to go into a lot of detail that's not necessary, but I always believe provides actual context. The red list is a ritual that I created personally for myself. You would assume that as a productivity guy, I have a high level of discipline and self-control, which is far from truth, unfortunately. So I always need to find different ways to kind of trick myself to stay consistent or do the things that I was supposed to, or stay away from the things that I was supposed to. And this was one of them. And out of everything that I've tried, this seemed to be the most efficient one. If you look at your workbook, you're going to find 3 sections. The first section is meant for you to take a minute and list down every obstacle in your way. What are the things that are keeping you from accomplishing those goals you were creating high value activities for? So take the workbook and list them down. It should take you less than a minute. Okay, now that you actually have these things, how you want to approach beating them, crushing them, is actually really simple. So the moment you overcome something, mark it right away. The whole point of marking something means that you're committed and that it's already done. For instance, junk food. If you managed to get to the store to buy groceries and you pick that ice cream, you get it up and you're like, yeah, it's like, I want to eat this bad boy. But one of your goals is to actually lose weight. If you manage to put it down, the moment you get back home, or you can just open your phone, you get to tick off that you managed to overcome and crush junk food for that day. That's a great feeling. And if you already have one thing done, adding another gives you more motivation to make sure that you beat the next one in the row. And for me, those are downloading and streaming TV shows and movies. I just love this. I know it's the biggest waste of time there is, but I just find so much inspiration and thoughts and ideas in this, which I can use for everything else. But in reality, it just serves me as a form of escapism. I use this to run away from the things that I was supposed to do. So I made a rule that I cannot watch TV shows and movies unless I watch certain movies in the cinema, and I can only watch those. But if I binge watched the season or I didn't stay committed and true to what I was supposed to, I actually put a cross, and that cross really pains you. Your goal is to have more checkoffs, the green ones, than red ones until the end of the day. The more green ones you have, the more you're gonna feel accomplished. This is a in-the-moment tool you can use. So this is not something you come back once a week. This is your daily tool, daily ritual. You get up and every moment as you get up and check your priorities for the days, those 3 daily blocks, you get up and you look, what can stop me today? What are the things that I should be mindful of? What are the things that serve as obstacles that will prevent me from doing the things that I want, from doing the things that I was supposed to, from becoming the person that I was supposed to. You look at it, and if you already usually have one early in the morning, if you manage to tick it off, great. It's a great start of the day, and then you try to amp yourself up. You're like, okay, junk food, we're beating you today as well. And this tool is actually really simple, but it's so, I don't know, gamified. It provides this sense of competition, which we love. We're naturally competitive. So acting lazy and so on, and letting these things, these bad habits enslave you, instead of you being the one who's gonna beat them over, turn them into a submission. I know it seems like a dirty talk, but bear with me. Is something you need to do. You need to take control. You need to build yourself up. And the thing is, the self-discipline and self-control isn't something you build in the moment. It takes years for it to build up. But these small steps you take every single day do actually help. That's it for the ritual number 4. Finally, ritual number 5, which is evaluation and planning. In the workbook, you're gonna find 2 things. Daily set of questions, which you should use every single night, together with those 3 daily blocks. Every night you take 5 minutes and you run through these questions. How did your day go? What was good, what was bad, what can be improved, and use it to analyze your day, to close the current day and slowly plan out the next one, to put yourself in a mindset where you're gonna, from the moment you wake up, you're gonna be on top of your game. And the same thing goes for the weekly questions. Every week on Sundays, you should take 15 to 20 minutes, sit down and ask yourself those questions. How did your week go? Are you happy with it? What are the things you did good? What were the things what didn't go according to plan? What stopped you from reaching the level you wanted to? How can you do it better? And this is the time we're actually planning out the week after. So not only did you close something, you actually plan out what's coming after that. It might seem like, I don't know, compared to every other ritual, like least practical and least useful ritual, but in reality it's one of the most important ones. My late grandfather, whose name I inherited, taught me this simple question he used to ask himself every single night. He was one of the hardest working men I've had the pleasure of meeting ever in life. And every night before he would hit the bed, he would ask himself, did I earn my bread for the day? Simple. He would go through his day and see whether or not he actually did the work he was supposed to, and whether or not he has the right to feel proud and accomplished. And that's the point. You want to look back. You want to see what are the steps you're taking. You want to look at your repetitive and fixed habits and activities, what can be optimized, what can be reduced, what can be improved, your sequence, what needs to be excluded, what needs to be added based on the progress you've made. What are your harmful habits? What's the status there? Were you consistent? Did you manage to amp up your discipline, willpower, and how to improve this moving forward? This constant ritual of self-evaluation, assessing your time, raising your self-awareness is crucial. And I suggest that you use these rituals to truly make the progress in every single area of your life. Now, if you haven't finished everything, don't worry about it. You have the workbook, you've gone through this with me, and you can come back to it later. Even later, you might have certain realizations that you want to add additionally. But the reality is, and the truth is, honest truth is, that these rituals you've just learned in the last half an hour or more truly have potential to change every single area of your life and to give you the results you want, but only if you implement them. That's the rule here. You gotta be consistent if you want to become who you want to become and accomplish all of the things you dreamed of. This is the first step, all of these 5 rituals. And you don't have to do them perfectly, you just have to do them. However, the biggest mistake you can make today is ignoring this information and not applying it to your life. That's the real danger here, delaying action and putting it on a back burner. Just like everything else in life, you have two options. Option number one is you do nothing and everything stays the same. Or you find another feel-good productivity hack that will tell you to cram more things in a day, and it might actually even work for a while. But eventually, since those are not based on psychological improvement methods, you will fall off the wagon. And who knows how long it will take you to get back on track with all of that feeling that you're constantly falling behind. Or option number two, imagine in addition to everything you learned today, you learn one of the most powerful productivity systems in the world. One that will teach you how to change your approach to time, how to focus on the right things that will deliver the results you need to accomplish your biggest goals and help you prevent procrastination and any other harmful habit from ever happening again. Or even if it does, having the right framework that will help you immediately solve it. And that's why for the last time in 2018, I'd like to invite you to join me live for my program, The Ultimate 30-Day Productivity Challenge. It's a step-by-step productivity framework designed specifically for high-achieving individuals, professionals, entrepreneurs who want to achieve more by working less. It will show you how to follow through on your goals, free up to 20 hours each week so you can have more freedom to dedicate that time to the things that truly matter the most. It's up to each individual to empower themselves. And the best way you can do this is by taking control over your time. That's the key. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and try the complicated things. You have me as a mentor who's going to guide you for the next 30 days, together with a community of like-minded, high-achieving individuals to hold you accountable as you make progress. I believe when you use this program, you'll get to achieve exactly that. That's why I want to introduce this such a low price, because I want everyone to get a copy. And here's what we're going to cover together. We're going to go through 4 phases of productivity. Phase number 1 is going to be direction. One of the biggest mistakes people make is that they dive right into execution without the actual system in place and knowing what they're after. So we want to bypass this and make sure that you know what are the right goals for you to pursue and what's working and what's not. What are the things that are gonna be your high value activities for these goals? So you can focus on getting the short term, but also the long term results. Then we're gonna go into phase 2, elimination. Now, it's important to know what are the things that are holding you back. And before we talk efficiency, I want to make sure that you and I develop a bulletproof strategy that's going to help you reduce or completely eliminate any obstacles that are holding you back. Laziness, lack of discipline, procrastination, interruptions, distractions, all of these things that leave you feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, stressed with unmet expectations. We want to ditch them all so you can actually go into phase number 3, which leads us into phase 3, optimization. Remember, we talked about the fixed and repetitive habits and activities. Now we're going to take a look at your life and all of these activities you have, and I'm going to show you exactly what you can do to optimize and fine-tune each one of these activities to get several hours per week back. And not only that, each one of these activities will have a higher quality standard of execution, which means you're going to get more results out of them, you're going to enjoy doing them, each one of them more, and you're going to have more time back, which leads us into phase number 4, execution. This is where everything comes together. Now you have a clear vision of what are you after, what needs to be done to get there. You've eliminated the obstacles in the way, you've optimized your time, and now you have more time back. Now it's ready to get focused, to develop that focus on command and execute things efficiently and effectively to accomplish your goals as fast as possible. How is this all delivered? Well, you have over 6 hours of content spread over 35 bite-sized video and audio lessons, which are practical, useful, and can be applied with your morning coffee. All of these are actionable, which means that you can apply them immediately and get results for your business, career, or your personal life. It's a proven productivity framework. I've used the exact same one to change and transform my life and to coach thousands of other people to do exactly the same or even better in their lives. You can get started immediately. The moment you enroll, you're getting an email with the exact steps of what you need to do. How to access your course, which is just a minute, how to access the community, remember, for the last time in 2018, so you can already start interacting with people that are just on the same path as you are, and you can dive right into the course because I know you're ready to start. Learn anywhere, anytime. Smartphone, tablet, laptop. You can access this course from anywhere and consume it even on your break from work. We're doing the live version now, but since you have it for the years to come, whenever you feel that you need additional boost in your life, you can come back to it and remind yourself for certain things that were useful. Also, you're getting a family account, which means that when you enroll, you can share the login details with the rest of your family. Accountability plays a huge role here. So I invite that anybody who enrolls to share it with their family, their kids, their partner, so they can go through it together and get the same level of results at the same time. Try the frameworks, try the system, try the tools that I'm suggesting from the Ultimate 30-Day Productivity Challenge. Challenge yourself, and if you don't get the results you want, I'll personally give you your money back. If you don't love it, I'll refund 100% of it. No strings attached, no hidden fees, no questions asked. You shoot me an email and within 48 hours, you have your money back. That's how much I believe in what I'm offering you. I don't want anything standing between you and your freedom. So I made this entirely risk-free for you. Here are the real stories from people that went through my program, and you can actually see the transformation and the results they've experienced. Here we have another doctor, John Wittenstorm, who's an owner of the Ultimate Aesthetic and Implant Dental Practice from California in the USA. I implemented this in my life and it helped me tremendously with building my dental practice. I was just in San Francisco at a dental continuing education program called Lumineers. And after that, I jumped in a nice little sports car I rented and I took it on an ultimate drive down the Highway 1. It's sure nice to have more time. And thank you for reminding me to live one day at a time. I had forgotten about that. It's easy to get caught up. You helped me more than I expected. To be honest, even with implementing the techniques, I thought I would not have improved that much. However, I went from 17.5 hours a week of internet, email, TV, to roughly about 3.5 hours a week. That's huge. Collectively, that's over 30 days per year, an entire month. Oh my God, I'm certainly going to do this course again. I don't know how, but you came in at the right time of my life. I'm very grateful for that. Finally, we have a student, John Arnold from USA. Let me express my thanks for your program. I like how it spread over the course of 30 days. I completed it once, then started over again. I'm no longer addicted to Facebook, and I get by on less than 10 minutes per day when I used to be on there for over 2 hours every single day. That alone has helped me save so much time. Now, my favorite part of the course was the X method, which is a step up from a traditional to-do list. I have been incorporating that into my daily routine and it has worked wonders towards increasing my productivity. If you release another life-changing course like this, please let me know. You have found yourself a repeat customer. Imagine yourself like any of these people. I want you to become a success case study like this. Note that I usually hire out my time at $500 an hour and I charge $5,000 for conference speeches. That is, if you can even get a spot in my calendar. But if you take action from masterclass right now, you can get access to my premium course for the fraction of the cost at a discounted price. Incredible value. Plus, on top of that, for the first 10 people that sign up, this is the first time I'm actually offering this. For the first 10 people that sign up, I'm giving away one-on-one 60-minute coaching session. It's going to be fully customized. Any additional questions that are related, personal for your own life, I'm going to help you solve them. You're not only getting the Ultimate 30-Day Productivity Challenge. Next to this, you're getting access to a vault of bonuses. The first one is how to develop a habit of waking up early. The second one is how to design a perfect morning routine for yourself. And the third one is how to establish an evening routine for yourself to have a perfect closure of the day. Also, as I previously mentioned, for the last time in 2018, I decided to do this course live, which means that I'm going to be adding a private Facebook community for the students of this course where we can exchange additional ideas, you can get feedback, and you can directly contact me whenever you want. You can stay updated to whatever is happening, any additional content that I create. Plus, on top of this, you're also getting 2 online group coaching and Q&A sessions that will each last 90 minutes, that will be delivered specifically in that Facebook group. So you'll have the opportunity directly to send me questions up front or ask me on the spot and get additional guidance. Now, if you found value in the content from this masterclass, imagine what a full premium course will do for you. Sign up now and use the massive discount I'm offering. Apply these things in your life and you will experience how is it to have full freedom and control over the time you have every single day. It will truly change your life. It's guaranteed. One more thing. Note that I can only serve a specific amount of students. If I want to keep it highly customized and deliver the value that I promise, I can only do it for a certain amount of people. True, you can get this course later, but it won't be with these bonuses and it will probably be twice the price. Now it's the time to make sure that you don't miss out and use this opportunity to take your life to the next level. Click the button below.